Whew. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. I did it. All right. I said, time to get back into the double-digit miles, and it happened. 10 miles strong, a really, really rough one. Seeing that, I don't know, my legs have been just kind of drowsy all week, kind of tired, but I did get a lift in and the 10-mile run, so earned, would never say necessarily a rest day, but definitely earned a day where we can taper down on the mileage, focus on some abs tomorrow, some stretching, and getting it back for just another week. All right, had to say that. Start off by saying that. Next thing, happy Mother's Day, all you beautiful mothers out there. In my opinion, I believe it's a holiday that needs to be celebrated every day. You know, it's a lot being a mother, especially when your mother, like mine is, who is all just absolutely all in. You know, when she made the decision, I don't know what happened before she had me or before she had me and my sister, but when we came into this world, that was it. Everything else from her past was cut off, and it's time to raise these young babies. And tell you what, if I have to say so myself, she did a pretty damn good job. All right, go look at me, go look at my sister, and enough said, all right? As far as today's Move Swiftly thought, it's somewhat inspired by her because she called me, you know, she went to high school in New York. She spent a lot of time, she's from Trinidad, but she kind of grew up in New York, Brooklyn, New York area before she had me and my sister and all that. So a lot of her, you know, formative years and years in which you have a lot of influence and learn a lot of things, that happened in New York. So, you know, she was a little chirping, She's a little Giants fan and a Knicks fan. You know, so she was a little chirping, got a little excited about the fact that the Knicks were up 2-0 going into New York, going into Madison Square Garden. And it felt like, okay, the Knicks might be back. So watched the game, watched from the, had a meeting. So I watched from the second quarter all the way to the end of the game last night when Boston just straight up put the beat down, straight up smacked around the New York Knicks like they stole something, all right? Straight up kicked that ass, all right? And again, the series obviously is still in the hands of New York. They still got an opportunity to win one in the Garden, but still, based on the past 3 games, to be honest with you, in my opinion, Boston still looks like the favorite, seeing that they gave up those last 2 games after a 20-point lead. So got to take that into consideration as well, New York fans. And a reason I brought this up, because I wanted to talk about a couple of days ago, and I've been wanting to get to the New York media, all right? The New York sports culture, the New York just sports in general, and why I always go around explaining to people, look, I know what it says on my degree, but I played football at Stony Brook University in New York. I have a education in sports media. I have an education in sports management, sports marketing, because of that particular fan base, learning those years during those times. Oh my goodness, all right? So when it comes to the bigger takeaway from yesterday's game is this concept that I read in this book titled Where Else Would You Rather Be by Marv Levy. He was the head coach for the Buffalo Bills for those 4 years in which they went to the Super Bowl, you know, with the Jim Kellys, Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas, those kinds of guys. Read that book years ago, and he was, you know, talking about his coaching journey and where it taken him. In fact, it was in his book where I remember learning how to job interview for coaches, right? You know, as a coach, I remember the line in his book, he goes, look, if I wanted job security, I'd be an accountant, right? So, you know, he was all in, you know, move wherever I got to move, do whatever I have to do to coach football. And I remember him talking about the market because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Marv Levy coached in the CFL for a couple of years, and it was a difficult time getting them to get TV and contracts and getting all that kind of stuff going. Or I think it was in the West Coast, either the CFL or the West Coast, he was talking about when he was coaching. And he used this term called the Northeast Giants. When it called the Northeast Giants, it means the Phillies, the Bostons, the DCs, the New York, those 4 dominate a lot of the TV revenue. They dominate when it comes to just in general entertainment, because sports is entertainment. And when you look at the setup for the game yesterday, there was a reason they were calling it the Super Bowl. It's Boston, it's New York, Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are back. You saw a lot of old-time faces, people that have been supporting that franchise for years, and you see the relevancy. And then throughout the week, one of the bigger stories was Abdul Carter, who was taken by the Giants, New York Giants. He was asking Lawrence Taylor to get number 56. He's asking Phil Simms, and now it turned into a big story. You have Bill Belichick in the news and where he coached, the New England Patriots, that Boston area. You had Saquon Barkley, who grew up in Pennsylvania, played for New York, and then that NFC Championship game, you had my hometown team, the Washington Commanders. All that stuff generated a lot of interest and a lot of TV revenue. And when you're considering, and this is the reason I'm bringing this up, is for you business owners, when you're considering how you're going to get exposure, how you're going to get people to see what you're doing, you have to consider your location and what people like and what they're all about and what's really going to get the eyeballs to your stuff. That's what it's all about, all right? So, all that being said, as you can see, I'm out of breath. I need to get some fluids in me real quick. I'm starting to feel my cramps coming out. Again, happy Mother's Day to you folks. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing, makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.